Let's get this thing popping, man. Get this thing popping, man. Welcome you guys. Thank you guys for showing up. If you could cut your cameras on, Make sure we see your beautiful faces, beautiful smiles. I love the avatars and the names. Again, those are beautiful. They're gorgeous. It was given to you, gift from God, of course, because that's who you are. That's your name. But if you're decent, only if you're decent though, cut your cameras on for sure. All right, good. Let's get this thing started. Week number 27. As far as Laboratory Redemption, I am so thankful and excited about the opportunity to be here one more time because someone wanted to be in this moment, but time just didn't allow for it. It just didn't allow for it. However, you guys are here. It's a whole new year, 2024. For me, this is so exciting. All right, good deal. Let's get this thing popping. All right, so the first thought for me was this. Has anybody in here ever thought about clarity? Has ever crossed anybody's mind? Clarity. Clarity is a big deal. It's a huge deal. Because what clarity would do, because as an insurance adjuster, you will go through some things. You absolutely will. If you are not clear on what you want as far as your mission, your goal, you will quit and give up only because emotions get involved. Emotions are a big deal. When we have clarity, I'm giving you the definition of clarity. You guys ready for it? Yes or yes? All right, I'm glad you guys say yes. All right, good deal. Clarity, the state of having a full, detailed, orderly mental grasp of something, to have a mental, clear grasp of something. So for me, 2024 is about service. My whole mission is to make sure that we give you guys 5-star service. Make sure we do our absolute best for you to serve you. Because if we serve you properly, I promise you what'll happen is this. You will be making money. And if you don't, that's on you. Because we'll make sure we give you the game plan on what to do and how to do. Is that okay? Yes or yes? Anybody? Yes or yes? Somebody? Anybody? Scream! Hey! I know that was terrible. All right, good deal, man. But yeah, so as I think about what we're doing, individuals pay every month or quarter or biannually in hopes they don't use their insurance, whether it be the car insurance, whether it be the home insurance, whatever it is. But then when it happens, whatever that might be, a pipe may burst, car accident, whatever it may be, who shows up? The insurance adjuster. And what happens is, as an independent adjuster, those of you guys who know and those of you guys who don't know, you are not trained the best in the very beginning. You are thrown to the wolves in hopes that you know what you're doing. So I remember my very first inspection that I ever did. It was terrible. I was like, dang, I'm sorry you got me. They had a whole tree through the house. Dang. Demetri was with me. It was a whole friend. There was a whole tree through the house. I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. Where do I start? My ladder was inside my ladder. I didn't know how to use it. It was wrapped in a package. Oh, I looked so terrible. But the homeowner was looking at me like, you're here to help me. Like, you were absolutely here to help me. I'm like, I want to, but I don't know where to start. So what I'm saying in this moment is this: you must have the heart for service. You must want to serve the individual in which you're going to go see, because they're just hoping and praying you can get their house back together or their car back together. Imagine you've been paying this home for all these years. You got just how you want it. You got all the stuff, the kitchen right, you got your bathroom right, you got everything together. But then a pipe burst, and your whole house is destroyed. And you just hope that the insurance person will take care of you, because they hear all the horror stories about how so-and-so carrier will be Farmer State Farm, not going to take care of them. They get all this misinformation about how they're not going to take care of them. Then when we show up, they're looking at us like, okay, make it work for me. And you're like, dang, I don't even know where to start. But the first thing is this: We must start from a mental mindset of clarity. I'm going to help serve you. I'm gonna take care of you. I'm gonna take pictures, as many photos as I can. I'm going to document exactly what is it I see. And I don't even know what I see, but I'm gonna take a picture of it. Does that make sense? Yes or yes? If that makes sense, put a 1 in the chat for me. If that makes sense, drop a 1 in the chat for me if that makes sense. Good deal, for sure. For sure. Now, when I say about serving your customer, the one thing that they want to be done for, that they want, is to be heard. They want to be heard. They want to share their story of what's going on. All right. So one of the things in which we're doing today, we're going to have Wedzére, which is my actual coach, guy who actually coaches me every morning, Monday through Friday, and also on Sundays coaches me over the flight assessment. And what this information does now, this information is something that I learned this information about 20 years ago. Randall Carter knows all about it. I turned crazy. I turned became an entrepreneur. I became kind of crazy. She remember that moment. I was nuts, but I was making money because I was excited about what I was doing. Now, personalities. You have the various personality types. Once you understand this information, you will be able to be a service king, queen, master. You may not know what you're doing. You may not, or you might, but you will understand how to talk to somebody, how they want to be talked to, how to understand what they're saying, how to actually listen, empathize with what's going on with them, right? Because you will get yelled at. It's not your fault. They think you're the company. You're just a representative, especially when you can't help them.
Yep.
Because sometimes things happen and just not covered. Or they waited forever and it passed their time period and you couldn't help them. Then what do? Whether you're on the phone or whether you're in the field in person, whatever it is, I realized that I thank God for individuals who are working from home. You guys are a very tough group of individuals. I remember working from home and getting a phone call. I was like, man, I don't know what I'm doing, but I can't help you because it says here that this isn't covered because you don't have this endorsement. Because I remember I was in Arizona. I was in Phoenix. This still breaks my heart today. It was a sewer backup. Someone was cutting grass and someone cracked something and their water line backed up and their home it was a beautiful home. I mean, it was gorgeous, probably like $3 million home. It was gorgeous. And the son, he was about 27 years old, but he had some mental issues and he was bedridden. He had a lot happening. And the crack and everything was going through his room. I got there, I was like, wow, this is a beautiful home. And I went through everything. Then I realized I couldn't approve the claim. I couldn't approve it because they didn't have the sewer backup drain endorsement. So that actual damage to the house was probably about $120,000, and I couldn't help them. Broke my heart, absolutely did. So in that moment, I listened. They were upset. They were crying. They were frustrated, and I was hurting inside. But I realized that they had the ground school personality, and we're just going to break that down. They just wanted to talk. They wanted to be heard. Now I was tired of listening at a certain point. Now I'm just saying that's my mind. It's like, man, I'm all right, man. I got to go on. I don't want to cry, man. I was emotional. I'm not emotional, dude, but I was emotional because I couldn't help them. And this beautiful home, I realized that the insurance agent didn't visit the policyholder or talk to policyholder in a few years, and their needs changed. But as an adjuster, that's not, it sucks, but you can't do anything about that, right? So I say all that to say this. You must, now you're gonna make a whole lot of money doing this. Whatever that you want to make, you want to get to 100,000 a month, you absolutely can do that. 200,000 a month, you can absolutely do that. 20 grand a month, absolutely 100%, 100%. But I tell you this, when everyone's yelling at you, fussing at you, if you're in it just for the money, you won't last very long. You will not last very long because the very, very first sign of adversity, I've seen it, folks cower and run and miss out on a beautiful career because they were in their feelings, in their emotions. Now, again, I'm not telling you not to have emotions, but understand that those things will lie to you and allow for you to make a stupid decision in the moment. When all you had to do is just sit back, take a moment, refresh it up, refresh your mind, and then get back to it. Because I remember this one individual, she was so excited about everything, so pumped up, went through the whole process, got licensed, went through everything, raw goals out, what they wanted to do. And then it came down to actually doing the job. It was so much going on in that person's life that they couldn't focus. And they had opportunity when they weren't making any, they were making probably about like maybe 2,000 a month, which is okay. They had an opportunity to create about 16,000 a month in income. They prayed for it, but they had all the stuff in the background in their way. So I'm gonna say this: make sure that your family stuff is tight. Make sure everything you have going on is together, right? Because one of the worst things that could happen, and some of you guys probably seen this as well, you all ready to go, but your wife, your husband, your boyfriend, whoever that might be, may not be on board with you, right? Because this is a very demanding career, an absolute demanding career, because it requires all of your mental focus. Is that right, Janae, or am I lying? I'm hit the button. I can't find the button.
1,000%.
Absolutely.
1,000%.
Absolutely, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass the ball over to Janae. But the one thing I want to make sure I say this one more time to you. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? What is so important to you? Who is the person that this is important for you to do this for? Because I promise you this, we want to make sure that not only that you make a whole lot of money here, but we make sure that your money that you do make, we take that and have you to make more money with that. We have opportunities in which Coach Ryan's going to have opportunities for you as far as in the real estate game, investment opportunities. We want to make sure that we take care of you, not only for the initial money that you're going to make, which is going to be very nice, and more importantly, make sure that whenever you set up your initial paperwork, we put it together properly to where we can maximize your money and you get all of your deductions. Because I promise you this, that 40% tax hit, woo, that sucks.
Boy, does it.
That sucks. You like, man, okay, I'm about to get 20 grand this week. What? I got 12. All right, I have plans for this. All right, let's call around like y'all know. So we want to make sure that we take care of your paperwork properly, Brother Peterson. We'll make sure we take care of you properly. Is that okay? Is that cool, brother? You sure? But the first thought must be service. Service, service, service. Had to change my tune because before I'm all about like winning and getting all the numbers, being number one. That's in my mind, but I realized that this is an infinite game. There is no winners. There is no losers. There is just service. Because I promise you, someone is praying for you to show up. Allah sharing the opportunity with somebody. As it was shared with me, I was hoping for something to come my way. And when it showed up, it was weird. I was like, insurance adjusting? You made 100 grand in a month? What? I thought you made like 50 grand a year. I didn't know. I didn't know that. I had no idea. I didn't know, Brother K-Bon. I had no idea, K-Bon. I didn't know. Stephen, I had no idea that we could create this kind of income. But you must be mentally prepared to go through the go-through. All right. So what I'm gonna do, I'm pass the ball over to Miss Janae. Miss Janae, how you want it? Want to bounce pass? How you want it?
Can you guys hear
Chest
me?
pass.
Can everyone hear me? Give me a
Yes.
1 in the chat if you can hear me nice and clear, please. Thank you. So happy Sunday to everyone. For starters, thank you so much for spending your time with us this Sunday evening. To all the new people that are on the call, my name is Janae Aiken. I have been adjusting for a full year now. I started at the very top of last year, so January 1st was when I started. I just finished up my last deployment in the Chicago area right before Christmas. So with that, it's been a year. I came into this industry with no background or experience in construction, in adjusting. I didn't even know what adjusting was, even like my first day. I'm not even joking. I still wasn't sure like what I had to do. With that said, though, I still was able to amass over six figures easily. So with that said, yeah, this is a great industry
One or
to
200,
definitely
1 or 200.
to, to start in. You know what, sir? I'm actually gonna dive deeper into that next week. I'll be a guest speaker next week where I'll go over my deployments and, of course, the numbers, how much I made, but more than that, the challenges that I had to overcome this year. Because as we know, those that are already adjusting, it's not easy when you start out. With the help of this community, though, it has easily helped me stay deployed much longer than I could have if I did not have this community. So I'm very happy about that. Again, so like I said, please, for those that are new, come back next week so you can really hear more about my story and how I'll go into it a little deeper. We definitely need those to please fill out the feedback form. Like Travis said, we want to serve you guys as best as we can. We want to give you, obviously, we're going to give you the information that you need to get started and all that good stuff. But we also want to make sure that we're answering all your questions and anything else that you want us to discuss moving forward. So please fill out the feedback form. Also, please drop any questions that you may have in the chat. You can always raise your hand as well, especially when we have our lovely guest speaker come on. Don't hesitate to ask questions, please. The topic for this month is new beginnings. When I think about that, of course, I think about the journey that I've had this past year, and how I can no longer say I'm a rookie. You know, it's nice having that little bit to fall back on, like, I'm new, you know, I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't know everything, you know, like granted, a year is not that deep into the career where, you know, you'll learn everything. I still probably know what 5-10% of, like, you know, the true adjusting of different events and perils that pop up. But with that said, when I think of new beginnings, I think of how now I have this break period, and having this break period is bittersweet, of course. Some of the pros just being the obvious ones of rest and relaxation, you know, time away. Because, you know, when you're adjusting, you know, all you're thinking about is closing claims. I don't even have time to really think about anything other than work. So being on break, it allows me that, you know, I don't have to work out in the cold, which is all pros for me. The biggest con being, of course, like that large lump sum that you get every 2 weeks, you know, not getting that, you definitely start to feel it like, now what can I do to just be able to relax and be able to set up some passive incomes and leverage my my license that I have. So with that being said, just quickly, I know that my good friend Demetrio in the group, he's going to get certified in water mitigation. So that's definitely something that I'm looking forward to trying to get as well. And possibly just continuing to get my home inspector license, which was what I was thinking about doing before I even got into adjusting. So that's kind of how my mind has been since I'm on this break, like I said. And I'm looking forward to utilizing the people that we have in this group to, you know, multiply the money that I made last year. But with that said, I would love to bring along our lovely guest speaker, Mr. Wedzére Naval. He has 15 years of management, leadership, and training. He's a seasoned professional with a track record of closing over $1 million in sales directly to consumers. He is also certified in the DISC and flight assessment, which he'll go over with us today. So, Mr. Wedzére, if you could come off mute and chat with us a little bit. We're all looking forward to hearing what you have to say.
Everybody. First and foremost, thank you. Thank you, Janae. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
What I will say first thing is Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year. And she said something, and I actually went into my phone to look it up, right? New beginnings. The true meaning of new beginnings is It means that you are allowing yourself to accept changes that might bring good things to you. New beginnings mean that you are capable of knowing where you lack in the past and using those examples of failures to create a successful ladder for your future. Now, that's big, and it ties into the applied assessment as well, right? Allowing yourself is to learn from your past and knowing who you are, right? Before I even dive into that, let me ask, put one in the chat if you accomplished all your goals that you set out from January 1, 2023 to December 31st, 2023. If you accomplished all your goals, put a 1 in the chat. Oh, all right. I see 1. All right. So with that my first question is, what are some challenges that you faced that didn't allow you to accomplish those goals? Let me get 2 people to speak off mic real quick. It doesn't matter who. Just 2 people. What challenges you faced that did not
I'll
allow you to
say contingencies, or what I like to call uncontrollables.
uncontrollables. All right. Yep.
Yeah.
So how did uncontrollables affect you?
Well, sometimes you do a business deal and it's a 2-party situation, and you both have to execute, and maybe one side executes, another side doesn't. Yeah, that's for me. That's my experience.
So let me ask you this question: What in your control prevented you from achieving your goals? Don't worry about other people. Let's focus on us, on self.
Mm-hmm. I say like that was like the only goal. Like everything else I really accomplished, but it was like something I had lined up early on in the year. It set me back, and so like it just I accomplished everything else, but it was like that kind of shifted me away from that. So definitely, I mean, I think that there's a lot
Would
that
you
I
say
can do
distraction?
better. No. It was I had a deal, a real estate deal with some family, and I did everything I was supposed to do on my side, and we got the day of closing, and they backed out, and so it shifted a lot of what I had to do.
I love it. Trust. That's what I'm going for. You trusted too easily. I love it because it was family. You trusted it. All right. Go ahead.
So I'm in a different field, but I'd say that I had a lot of goals set. And one thing I realized is that sometimes you start off with a certain level of capacity. And as you continue on, throughout your year, either your capacity gets smaller, it gets bigger, depending on how many things that you have set to accomplish. And I think that for me, right, in the leadership positions that I hold, is that some of the things that deal with my personal capacity are impacted by others. So those tasks sometimes get impacted. So those goals that I'm trying to go after. So, now going into 2024, it's more of a realistic thing based off of what I understand it to be, like my capacity to be.
Okay. Go ahead, D.
Hey, what's going on, man? So for me personally, was a couple of different things. If I'm being completely honest, effort. If I know I'm going in, I used to tell Travis this, I know I'm operating at about 65%, 65%. I know I got at least another 35 to 45, 110. I know I got a lot to give. And so if I'm being honest with myself, I know I didn't give for whatever reason my total effort. You know what I'm saying? That's a personal issue. I'm definitely going to have to work on that. But also for me, time management, as far as what I did with my time on a daily thing.
That's huge.
That's definitely huge for me personally. So once I tackle those giants and knock those out the way, for sure, yeah, I definitely can see a different progression for me.
I love it. Now let me ask this question: How many of us are clear on our vision? For the 2 in the chat, if you're clear on what your vision is, not for an essay for the next 5 years? You clear on what your vision is. All right. How many know the steps to get there? Put a 3 in the chat if you know the steps that you need to take to get to that vision. Now, who's going to get in your way? Who is going to get in the way of you? Exactly. You are the person that's going to get in your way. Now, we're going to dive into this assessment, right? The fly assessment, the assessment's been around for almost 100 years, right? It was founded in 1928 by a Harvard professor who had his PhD in psychology. He studied human behavior, right? With the study of human behavior, he found, he created 4 personality traits. You have the pilot, the flight attendant, ground crew, air traffic controller. You have all 4 personalities in you. Each show up in a different way. Each show up more dominant than others. There is one that can show up more dominant than others, right? Which can show up more, like Travis. I know Travis. I'm gonna use Travis for example. Travis is a pilot, through and through a pilot. What Travis does is he focuses on results. It doesn't matter what it is. He focuses on results. No matter how big a challenge is, Travis is going to tackle it. The bigger the challenge, the bigger Travis shows up. But the one thing that was a blind spot for Travis when I first met Travis was the details of things. The details, right? The details matter. He didn't, and that's the thing, right? So you guys have to understand that with each strength comes a limitation. With each superpower comes a limitation. Now, I want you to also think about this. The assessment does not measure your intelligence. It doesn't measure your aptitude. It doesn't measure your mental health, and it doesn't measure your values. So don't think of the assessment as, oh, I'm this, I'm going to do this. No, you still have to put in the work. Work has to be done. Like, prayer without, faith without work is dead. You still have to put in the work. Now let me go back to the 4 superpowers. Now, with the 4 superpowers, you have the flight attendant. The flight attendant measures how you interact with others and influence others. That's your interactive. Then you have the grounds crew. The ground crew measure your pace and workflow within a given environment. Then you have the air traffic controller. The air traffic controller measures your preference to dealing with rules, procedures, protocols, systems, data. And then you have the pilot. The pilot is your approach to solving problems and making decisions. Now, Travis, has everyone taken the flight assessment yet? Or no?
Most have.
Okay, I love it. For those who haven't, Travis will get you tight work. Now, there are 2 bars. You have the color bars and you have the gray bars. Now, the color bars is your natural. Now, when you hear your natural, let me ask this question. What do you hear when you hear natural? Your natural tendencies. What do you hear?
The things that you do on a regular.
Okay. Love it. What else?
Action without thought.
Okay, I love it. Love it. What else? Exactly. It is who you are. It's, who you are. It's walking, talking, breathing. It comes easy to you. It's who you are when you are at your most comfortable state. You're comfortable. That's who you are. Now, the adaptive, we have what's called the adaptive range. Now, what happens in the adaptive range is what happens when you are uncomfortable. Stress, fear, nervousness, anxiety, anxious, whatever the case may be. It is who you are when you are not comfortable. And you'll see on your results, there's a plus minus number, right? With the plus minus number, it gives you a range of emotions that you could have. the bigger your number, the wider range that you have. Now, with that wide range, there are two things that could happen. First thing is you could be looked at, okay, they're inconsistent because they're always giving me something different. Because that's the thing that happens. When you lack, which I'm gonna get to, when you lack awareness, you don't know how you're reacting, then you just react in your way. Has anybody ever told you that you act a certain way, but you don't believe them? The other way you could look at it is because you're aware, you react into the situation like you need to. You have the wisdom to react the way you need to react. Got me? Now, the smaller the number, the least likely you are to adapt. That means you're stubborn, honestly. I'm going to put it out there. That means you're stubborn. So if you have a plus, let's say plus minus 1 to 5, 1 to 15 and below, 10 and below, you really aren't adapting that much. Two things, you know who you are and you stick with it. Or two, you're stubborn. And you can't adapt to situations. So when you can't adapt, how can you how can you help people and serve people if you can't adapt to emotions that they have, that they need? Because you're so strict on focus on this, you're not serving the individual here, and you rub them up the wrong way, and the deal is no longer being closed because you rub them the wrong way. You guys with me? Now, somebody give me the definition of self-awareness. What do you think self-awareness is? Not you, Travis. I ain't talking to you. Let's go with somebody that hasn't said anything yet. Let's go. Talk to me. Come off mute. Give me two people what their definition of self-awareness is.
Being able to evaluate yourself in basically any situation. You know, like you said, if someone tells you something, if you hear it 60 different times, it's probably got some truth to it. So being able to take that and adjust, you know, make yourself realize, okay, I do that. You know what I mean? That's my version of self-awareness.
Okay, give me one more person.
I would say the ability to be in tune with yourself and like your feelings and your emotions in its entirety.
I love it. But you both said a word that I don't like being in there. When you define a word, for me, for the word to make sense, you should not use the word that's the same word in there, right? But you guys are essentially saying the same thing, but you guys are close, right? Self-awareness is the conscious knowledge of one's own character, motives, feelings, desires, and purpose. You guys got that? You want me to repeat it one more time for you?
Yes, please do.
It's the conscious knowledge of one's own character, motives, feelings, desire, and purpose. Now, with self-awareness, there are two components, right? The first component is internal. Now, anybody come off mute and tell me what they think what is the internal component of self-awareness is? Just take a stab at it.
That could be understanding who and how you are.
You're right. It is. How clearly we understand our values, our talents, non-talents, our passion, and our impact on others. How clearly we understand our values, our passions, our talents, non-talents, and impact on others. So if that is if that is the definition of the internal, then the second component is external. And what is the definition of that? All right, I'm gonna pick on somebody in a second. Come on, Sterling.
How you display it?
It's a good guess. I love it. No, but it's how clearly we understand how other people view us with regards to those same things. Remember what I said, how many of us had somebody tell us we act a certain way, but we don't believe it? It's because we lack awareness of how we're acting. And if we're lacking awareness about how we're presenting ourselves, then how can you then, in good conscience and in good faith, think you're doing a good job at what you're doing? Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, in the chat, tell me where would you rate your self-awareness? Everybody. Now I'm going to pick on Clifton. He said a 9. Talk to me, Clifton. Why do you think you're at a 9?
I know I'm at a 9 because
okay. Well, talk to me then, Cliff.
I spend 100% of my time working on my self-awareness and my self-control.
I love it, Clifton. Talk to me.
I only let it be a 9 because I know there's room for growth.
So let me ask you this question: What's your personality trait? What's your high superpower?
I have an incredible amount of intuition.
Have you taken the assessment?
No, not that one. I've taken a lot of other ones though, but I haven't.
So let me. Okay, perfect. I love it.
Vernacular.
Now I want you for me describe your personality in 15 seconds.
Honest, humble, and sincere.
Okay. Now, are you more outgoing or reserved? Pick one.
Reserved.
Okay. Are you more people or task?
It switches.
Don't.
Yeah, it does switch. It absolutely.
And that's why I want you to pick.
If I have a task that I know I'm on.
Nope. So you have to pick one or the other. It's one.
I'm in the middle.
Nope, it can't be in the middle. You gotta pick one. It's either people or task. Which one is it?
Task.
Okay. So you reserve and task. So what you just described to me, just describe your personality again.
Honest, humble, and sincere.
You just described a grounds crew, but then what you just gave me the air traffic controller. So your description, when you describe yourself as a grounds crew. When I asked you those two questions, your answer fell in the box of an air traffic controller. Are you still there? You good? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
So the reason why I do that is because that self-awareness, although you put a 9, you might be at a 9. I will say this. Overusing your strength, any strength overused becomes a limitation, becomes a weakness, right? You are very confident and like, I'm good. I know all these things. But for me, it's about humility and understanding that you said the key word, there's room for improvement, but really understand that, okay, am I really these things, or this is who you are, but this is what you portray. You're this, but you're portraying this. Does that make sense? Are you with me?
Yeah.
Now, the second word I want you guys to think about is self-regulation. Now, what is self-regulation? Somebody talk to me who haven't said anything yet. Give me a definition of that. What they think. 2 people. the definition of that, please, and thank you. Discipline, yep. Can we come off
like
mute,
your
Ryan?
emotions.
All right, yep. You said emotions?
Yeah.
One more person. Come on, Ryan. Y'all saying, I want you guys.
Yeah, I think, I put discipline. You think about something, regulating yourself. That's a checks and balances. It's one thing to just check yourself and see where you at, but regulation has to deal with, in my opinion, when I hear that, the connotation of accountability for progress. So you regulate your performance and your, just everything, it's a lot of things that coincide with the balance of progression. So
absolutely,
I think the only way you accomplish that is with discipline.
It is the ability to understand, right? The ability to understand and manage your behavior and your reactions to feelings and things happening around you without external interference. How many times have we been influenced by something or the environment or whatever the case may be, because somebody said something we went against what we were initially going to do?
Happens often.
Happens often. That's because we don't have that regulation, that self-regulation to not allow external forces to interrupt what you believe, what you need to do. I will say this, self-awareness and self-regulations together are the key to achieving your goals. How many Bible scholars do we have on this call today?
Say that again.
Bible scholar. Do we have any Bible scholars on the call today? No, perfect. I love it. Now, what did Joseph here? What did Joseph ask for? Come on, you can say, I've read your lips, but I want to hear your voice. Come on, Janae, I read your lips, but can you say it out loud?
I have no idea.
All right, cool. I love it. Well,
I thought you were gonna, yeah.
The first is knowledge. First thing he asked for was knowledge. Is knowledge enough?
No.
Why not?
Because knowledge is the information, but the application of it is the wisdom. So knowledge without wisdom is empty.
Exactly.
Yes, he asked for knowledge and wisdom.
And he did ask for knowledge and wisdom, absolutely. So the reason why I said that, you got self-awareness is knowledge, and self-regulation is the wisdom. So you need both.
And that boy preaching.
What'd you say?
I said, boy, that's a word right there. That's a word.
You need both in order to move forward. And here's the thing. Your results are the knowledge. You have the information. You have your superpowers. You have everything you need, right? You have the things that you have in front of you. But what are you doing with those results is the important thing. How are you eliminating your blind spots and overcoming those limitations that are holding you back?
Are you meaning the results from the assessment?
Mm-hmm. How often are we looking at the assessment for those who've taken it? When was the last time you actually picked it up and looked at it?
It's been a couple months.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you this question, Ryan. What was your primary superpower?
Based on the assessment or my interpretation?
No, based on the assessment.
I don't recall a superpower. I know
what was your
pilot? 90, was it Travis 98?
Yes, pilot.
What was your secondary?
Air traffic control was like right there, it's like 4 points under that.
Yeah. You're a pilot. Okay. What was your lowest?
I think it was grounds crew. Yeah, task. Yeah, you ask me people at task, I'm gonna tell you people all day long.
If your ground speed is your lowest, that's people right there. Your task.
Like I said, it's been a couple months.
Yeah, but, if you pilot an air traffic controller, you task all the way.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's task oriented, and with that being task oriented, you want to get it done fast. And with you want, that's what the pilot is. With you having, Travis said you was a 98, and then 4 points underneath that was air traffic controller, right? So you have what's called a me versus me complex.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely internally motivated. I got to beat my best. You know, if
nope. It's an internal battle. It's not about beating yourself. You have a problem. You have a challenge when it comes to doing it now and doing it right. You want to go fast, but you want to get all the details. So it's a constant battle between now and right. Now and right, you have.
Yeah, I definitely can resonate with that. I think, you know, just being in business for myself for as long as I have, I'm very familiar with that battle. So it's not something that, you know, just kind of gets me off. But I know that I'm all about balance. So I know that you can't get them both. Kind of like the saying goes, you want something cheap, quick, don't expect it to be good. You know, you want something, you know what I'm saying? You want something good, you want it quick, don't expect it to be cheap. So I've come to accept that there's that trade-off. So I do want both of them, but I'm also understanding that sometimes you can't get that. Most times you can't.
Let me ask you this question, right? Outside of wanting both of them, you want both of them, right? But here's the question. When is it the right time to choose one over the other?
I don't necessarily have a definitive answer, but I would think that, you know, when you make an assessment and say, hey, this is the better fit, regardless of what you want, this is what's best for the outcome that you aiming for. That's the way my logic would break down. Like, when do I choose? Because sometimes you could say, well, I'm more natural this, so I want to handle it this way.
So let me ask you, talking to Travis, which approach are you gonna have talking to Travis?
Out of what? Flight attendant?
Yeah.
Oh, a pilot, for sure.
Okay. How, in what way would you communicate with Travis?
Directly, straight up, like.
Okay. In what way would you communicate with Sophie?
With Sophie, it'd probably be more like, I think it would probably be more pilot still, I think. I don't know. I don't think I would.
Sophie, what's your high?
I actually scored a 90 on every single one of them.
Yep. So I'm gonna talk to you about that. That's not good.
Oh.
We'll talk about that.
All right.
Well, you just brought my next point. I love it. But how would you talk to Toby? Ryan?
You know, I looked at Toby like a lot of insight. So it would probably be more of a grounds crew, like, you know, give me some insight on what you see, especially when it comes to the adjusting industry, because our experience is vastly different. And her experience in the field is vast. So I think that because the majority of our communication would be based around adjusting, that's what that's kind of.
Toby Rowe, what's your high? I know what
hi. I couldn't get off mute. I am actually 95 pilot, 90 air traffic control. I identify as air traffic control though.
So with Toby, you gotta come with facts, data. So the numbers have to make sense. Does that make sense? Now, there are particular ways to talk to each superpower, right? Now, Sophia says she is 90 all across the board. Now, when did you take it?
I took it in August.
So what was going on in your life in August when you took it? Let me ask that question
I was
first.
working in another state.
All right, you're working in another state. How was that going for you?
It was going very well, actually.
You say very well?
Very well.
Okay. When you took it, was it difficult for you to adapt?
Yeah, I think there were definitely a few questions on there that were hard for me to answer because it depends on the situation or circumstance.
In August, were you going through the transition of leaving out of state to come over to adjusting?
I definitely was thinking about it. I was mentally ready for a change.
Mm-hmm. So with those two things, you were in a transition. So then you answered it like in a transition of way. So it gave you all 90s across the board. It gave you an, I'm not gonna say, more like a lukewarm energy output kind of thing. Does that make sense?
Yep.
To everybody, does that make sense? Now, in that process, were you trying to do everything?
Yeah, I always try to do everything though.
There goes another problem right there. You can't do everything. You can't beat everything.
Facts.
Now, on the flip side, was there anybody who got all lows? Like it was all, let's say 10, 14, 15 and below. Nobody. Perfect. Now, with those ones, for those, and if anybody ever gets it, they might find it very difficult to commit. They're super low energy output, and they're likely tend to over answer or overthink all their answers. You guys are a quiet bunch. You guys ain't got any questions so far? Questions? Come on, talk to me. Don't be shy now.
I think, not necessarily a question. I think for many of us, is really thought-provoking to just take the assessment that we've already experienced and just, recollect some of the things from it. And I think right now what's happening is a lot of wheels are turning.
That's what I'm here for. I love it.
You get what I'm saying?
I love it.
I think what you're talking about from knowledge and wisdom, I think we're familiar with the assessment. I think now the next piece of the puzzle for most of us is how do we apply it? How do we use it right now to bring home? Because we're all in a different phase. So just kind of like, add context, like some of us are licensed, some of us are going through licensing, some of us are already licensed, some of us are on deployment, some of us are off deployment. And so I think just trying to associate where we are in the process, each individual in the community, and then take the results from the flight assessment and use it to help us get into that next phase. Because we are all looking at the next phase, whether it's somebody that's off deployment and looking to make a financial move and then go back to deployment, or someone that is looking for a deployment and they're trying to figure out what they need to do to continue to keep their heads above water, or to improve where they are so that they can get a deployment. So I think that's just kind of what and if I'm wrong, guys, let me know, but that's what I perceive is like people are just taking that information. It's like, okay, so all right, what do I do now?
I love it. So you said some of us are, I want to talk about the ones who are in the beginning stages are trying to get the license, right? Who knows, based on your assessment, what your learning style is?
I haven't took the assessment yet, but my people that I've been dealing with was telling me about the assessment. So I'm looking forward to taking it because me, myself, I really don't know.
So Larry, let me ask you the same question I asked Cliff, right? Are you have to pick one. Are you reserved or outgoing?
I'm outgoing.
Okay. Are you people or task?
I'm a people's person.
Okay, so you're a flight attendant.
Okay.
Meaning you can light up a room. You love interacting with people.
True.
All right, as a flight attendant, right? What are some common, let's say, what are some things that people tell you that they dislike about you?
My bluntness.
Why are you laughing, Clifton?
Because he heard the same thing too, I'm sure.
Oh, he did. I know. I'm waiting for him. Let's go.
No, because because I'm laughing because it's almost like he's expressing the thoughts and feelings that I'm thinking in the moment. And I'm like agreeing. I'm like totally in harmony with him. And I totally get what he's saying. And it's a beautiful thing.
Your bluntness. What else?
His?
Attitude and sometimes the way I talk. Because I'm a loud person. I'm loud, and I when I speak with authority.
Do they call you rude?
Yes.
Travis, you want to tackle this one real quick?
So, as I'm gonna go back as far as the application of the actual assessment, most important would be for the policyholders, one, then also for your management team. Those are folks you've been interacting with. Once we understand this information, we'll be able to understand how someone wants to be heard, but then also at the same time, how to get them back to where you want them to go. Right? So if you want to deliver some information that they don't want to hear, it's imperative and it's important that we understand how they like to process the information by listening to how they speak. So the studying of the assessment, once you take it, or if you have taken it, is of the utmost importance. So this information, I got it like 20 years ago. Once I understood it, I 10 times my sales. I went from not making any sales to once I got the information, I understood people when I was in sales. I was take this information and my income just 10 times because I understood how to talk to the person, how they wanted to be talked to, right? Because there's some ways that they talk to me that way, play, I'm ready to fight. It's over. Hold on, who you talking to like that? But if that folks understood how I like to receive information, I'm like, oh man, he the coolest dude in the world. Because I understand how I like to be talked to. So we talk to your policyholder who's going through one of the worst things in their life, one of the worst days ever in their life because their home is their biggest investment. They're going through hell because they have nowhere to stay. All the hotels booked up, they're stressed out, spazzed out, and they want to be heard, but they want to be responded to how they like to be responded to. If I'm a jerk to them and they just want to get everything out, they want to feel loved, they want to, feel like someone's listening to them. If I'm just direct saying, no, I ain't trying to hear that. Nope, you deny it. Versus if I was to really, really, really give them information, it's okay, I'm gonna give you everything as far everything laid out, everything, facts, figures, it all is all laid out for you. Then they'll be able to comprehend it. So I was gonna say that was that's kind of the biggest opportunity that we have as far with the flight assessment, to understand who we're talking to with the customer and also the management team. They may not necessarily be happy with what you're doing, but if you understand how to talk to them, they become your best buddy and they give you all the good claims. Not saying, but I'm just saying.
So I love it, Travis. Absolutely. For you, Larry, what you described wasn't a flight attendant. When I asked you those questions, you claim you answered as a flight attendant. When I actually describe your personality, you describe the pilot. So the math is not mathing like they say. Right? So because you haven't taken the assessment, so it's fine, because to truly be successful in this industry, any industry, period, honestly, we have to understand self first. The first thing we have to do is understand self. We have to understand self. Self-awareness is the utmost importance. I don't care what the next 30 days, I want you guys to look at your assessment every day and learn who you truly are. Sophia, take yours over. Take yours over. And yeah, Travis will give you the ins and outs how to take it, but take yours over, because yours was, you were in a transition and you're trying to be all things to all people. And that it leads to burnout. Point blank, it leads to burnout.
So I actually posted mine in the group because I wanted to ask you, and I think it may also help those who have taken it to just kind of really hone in on what you're saying. So I see where my top two is a pilot and a flight attendant. And then in the adaptive range, you mentioned something about the higher the score or the lower the score. Just kind of go back to that piece of it.
Hold on, give me 2 seconds. I'll pull somebody's up right now. I have access to a lot of them.
Okay.
Let me go find the one I need to find real quick.
And if you can, I'll drop one in the chat for you.
Oh no, I have it. I just need to share my screen. Can I share my screen?
Is it good to go share screen, Major?
Oh, got it. Let me find the one I want to share with you guys.
And while you're finding that, just I think it's one thing to hear, for us to hear it audibly, but to also just have something visual to go along with it. You know, that way when you're not on this call, it's still making sense to us.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I agree. All right, so I hate when it does that. So if you guys look at this, right, it's jankety up here for some reason. When I was talking about the plus minus number here, this is the adaptive range. The plus minus number, it gives you the range. And you go up 18, down 18, and that's your range. Now you see how her plus minus number here is a 2. So I just finished working with her. She just got a promotion in her accounting firm, right? Because we worked so well for her to get over this of being a walking doormat for the most part, and being super analytical and not standing, just believing in herself. So she was able to, we got her to be more, I'm not gonna say direct, but yeah, more direct and firm and actually believing in herself. So we went from 2 and 7. She hasn't taken it over again, but she speaks up now. She was able to speak up and speak her piece and say what she needs it. No longer letting things go by because she wants to keep the peace and harmony. When she needs to speak up, she spoke up. Does that make sense? Second thing. Here, You see, I told you she was conservative and considerate. She always put others first. Always put others first. And that was one of the things that was holding her back. It was holding her back from actually getting the promotion, because they kept saying, I'm gonna give you promotion, I'm gonna give you promotion, and just kept promoting other people. And she never vocalized her frustration or say anything about it. I was like, yo, this is nonsense. I was like, listen, that ain't happening again. I came in, I was like, that's not gonna happen again. And there were things that we did to work on it for her to be able to get there and be like, yo, I want this promotion. I've been here X amount of years, and you guys keep telling me yes, 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 but keep promoting John and Jill versus me.
It's crazy that you say that. I seen a study, and it said that people who demand what they want in the workplace versus people who don't are far more successful. So, that makes a world of sense.
Now, the one thing I want to talk about, which I want to talk about self-awareness, right? You guys, 30 days to study your results. 30 straight days, study your results. Now, the second thing I want you guys to do, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of homework. Let's say every day. How often do you guys go out and just sit and watch people or watch TV? So whenever you're watching a show or you out at the mall or anything, I want you to people watch. People watch. And I call it observe, assess, and is OAR, and recognize. Observe, assess, and recognize. As you're doing your OAR, I want you to observe the people, assess them based on the qualities of the personality that you have in front of you, and then try to recognize their superpower, their dominant trait, based on their communication style, what they're doing. Some you could tell by their walk. So there are a lot of cues that you guys can start looking like, all right, how can I recognize this person? So by the time you are talking to a person on the phone or meeting them in person, in the first minute, okay, this person is XYZ or X. I need to talk to them this way because I need to be able to deliver this message so they could hear it. Because if you're talking to me, I'm not saying me, because if you're talking as a pilot, like you would talk a ground crew, you lose them immediately. I'll be honest with you, when people talk too much, I check out. I still check out. Even though I know, I'm like, I don't want to hear this. I'm like, yo, get to the point. Please get to the point. Hey, Toby, how long are my text messages when I text you? I'm gonna show you guys something.
That mute button's a monster. They are very short and to the point.
I'm a pilot. I need XYZ. I need to know what I need to know, and that's it. And I know who she is, and I know she's not gonna take offense to it. So I could talk to her that way. Versus other people where I need to send, I'm like, I gotta put all these details in these text messages. That's when I do a voice memo now, because I know I need to, because I gotta lay out all these details for them. So you guys have to understand who you're talking to, the people that you're dealing with. So I have a question for you guys, right? When dealing with the grounds crew, right? When dealing with the grounds crew, how do you effectively connect and communicate to them? I'm gonna give you guys 3 things, but I want to see if you guys know. When dealing with the grounds crew, how do you effectively communicate with the grounds crew, connect with them?
Show appreciation.
Okay. All right. It's not just show appreciation. You have to do it privately. That's it. What else? But I'm gonna be honest with you, I am not reading the chat. So if you got anything to say, please speak up.
Empathizing with that person.
Yep. Empathize. Yep. What else?
I make sure that they're actually being heard, give them an opportunity to be heard. Because I'm like, man, no. So, okay, all right. So, but I get past that and just kind of, all right, let me actually listen. I'm like, dude, let's get to this point. But okay, all right, take pride now.
Yep. So you want to be patient and logical. Be patient and logical, as well as use a stay low-key approach. They don't want attention. They don't want attention drawn to them. So be patient, logical. Use a stay low-key approach. Praise them privately. Allow time for marination of ideas.
That was a big, like privately, that's a big point right there. They don't want to be sending, give them opportunity to do it on the side versus in front of everybody. Like they'll melt, like, come on, don't do this to me. I don't know this attention. Why are you doing this to me?
And then you
so
want to
with Janae, she's like, dude, stop. Janae, she melts. She's like, stop that. Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. Pull me aside.
Hey, listen, this is science that's been around for almost 100 years, right? Corporate America has been using it forever, right? And you want to start with the warm, friendly greeting. So I can talk to a ground crew like I talk to Travis. Like I just go straight to the point with Travis. I mean, this is what it is. And he understands and he comes right back with it. But a grounds crew, if I do that, they were like, I don't like you. You're rude. You're aggressive. And if you're trying to make you're dealing with people and they think you're rude and aggressive, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to do business with you.
You get a call from the agent, mad. Oh, the agent be real mad. Oh yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Now, how do you talk to a, let me see. Oh, let's do a flight attendant. How do you talk to a flight attendant?
Hey, just ask Demetrio, he'll tell you.
Come on. No, I ain't gonna ask him because he won. Let's go talk to. How do you give me three people, give me one thing each, right? How do you effectively communicate with a flight attendant? Talk to me.
Talking faster and using visual language.
All right. Travis, you're out of this.
Direct?
Nope, that's not. Nope. That's not flight attendant.
Almost in an entertaining manner.
Okay. What do you mean by that?
You gotta connect with them in a sense. Like they like jokes. They like to be social. You gotta connect with them.
Okay. Yep. So you want to hold on, Larry. I will say this to you because you said direct. You want to avoid harsh, aggressive tone with the flight attendant. You want to avoid that. Just a heads up. Who have not heard today? Let's go, Candace. Come on, Candace, talk to me.
In reference to another, like how to talk to them?
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, I agree with what everyone said. I can't really think of anything different. I was just going to say like a little more warm, a little more fluffy. I like what Sophie said, like entertaining, a little more social. So I don't know that I have anything additional.
There's a lot you could say, but I'll rock with you. So think about this. Flight attendants are visual. They're visual. They're imaginative. They see big, huge picture, right? So you want to use phrases like picture this, imagine this, can you see, to prompt their mind to start thinking about the picture. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
You know, you want to ask them for their ideas and opinions because they have a lot of them. They have a lot of them. So ask them for it. Because guess what? They're going to give you the answer. They're going to sell themselves if you ask them for that. That's when I talk to flight attendants on calls. I'll ask and they talk. I'm just sitting back here like this, just writing the whole time. I'm just writing like, yep, got you. Yep, and check. Yep, check. Yep, check. Close. Right? So now, the biggest thing is don't dwell on the details. because they don't know the details. So if you try and be very detailed with them, you lost them. Don't dwell on details. Now, how do you communicate with, let's say, the air traffic controller? I've given you guys a few already with this one. Stephen, talk to me. Oh, he doesn't want to talk to me. Are you there, Stephen? There
No,
we go.
yeah, I'm here. I've never taken this test, so I kind of don't understand.
Okay. So here's what I'm going to say. I hear you, but I still want you to try. Now, think of this. This person is a person that is detail-oriented, right? They're system-driven. They're protocol. How would you talk to somebody like that?
Straight to the point.
Okay. Straight to the point. I like it. How about you, Javon?
Straight to the point as well.
Oh, no, don't say that. That's what Steven just said.
I would just say, protocol is just straight to it, right by the book.
How about you, Belinda?
Yeah, somebody won't say that. It's kind of, yeah, she ain't saying that. So cool.
Okay. All right. So facts. Go ahead, Sophie. Go ahead and say. You said something. I'm gonna let you say that out loud. Talk to me.
Lead with facts.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You want to lead with facts, data-driven conversations, right? You want to present the data to back up claims. So as you're doing your adjustments, if you're dealing with an air traffic controller, you want to make sure you bring the data to back up what you're saying in order to finalize the deal. Right? And the flight attendant, if you're closing the deal with the flight attendant, you want to make sure they're connecting. You guys are having fun. They're having a good experience in order to close the deal. Now, with the grounds crew, when you're closing the deal, you want to make sure they feel secure. It's a security thing for them. You want to make sure they feel secure as you're adjusting and closing. Now, ways to communicate with the with the air traffic controller. I'm gonna finish with that one. I'm gonna give you guys two more. You want to use certain words like process, data, and procedure. You want to use those words based on the data, based on the process, based on the procedure, according to, use those words because it'll intrigue them, it'll keep them focused, right? You must be organized and you must be organized. Have to be organized. Have to be organized. And avoid asking personal questions. Avoid asking them personal questions. Because once you start asking personal questions, they are going to shut you out. Because that's not why they're there. Like, all right, cool, you asked them, I'm done, check, leave me alone. Now, last one, the pilot. How do you effectively communicate with the pilot? Travis, don't you say a word.
Can you explain what a pilot is?
Travis. Travis is the pilot. Direct, straight to the point.
Competitive. You know, it's not necessarily money driven, but want to win. Want to win.
Yes,
performance. Yeah, performance is a big deal. Decisive. That's a big, big deal. To the point. You want these details? I'm like, these details on my set. Okay, all right. We'll figure the rest of it out. All right, you do that. I'm gonna go ahead and get right to the point. We're gonna figure this thing out. Let's go. And absolutely demanding.
You have something to say, Clifton? You had your hand up.
Yeah, they want to get to the end result as quickly as possible.
Absolutely. Now, how do you communicate with them?
Talk about what you're going to do to get there and how much money you're going to make. Now, that doesn't actually coincide with adjusting, but in business it does.
Absolutely.
Oh, but it does.
Talk to them about the money and what it's going to take
Cliff.
and how quick you're going to get there.
Caven? Is it Caven or Cabin? Okay, Caven.
Kayvon.
Kayvon, listen, help me. There we go.
K-bomb, like Stephon.
Help me. I'm probably gonna mess it about 4 more times. Please forgive me in advance.
Yes, sir. But I mean, you talk to a pilot, you cut off the fat. You know, you get straight to the point. It's like they don't want to. I said, can y'all hear me?
They might be able to. I can't.
So I was saying, like, with a pilot, you basically get straight to the point, like you guys discussed. But like pilots don't want to hear excuses. They don't want you to like bluff. They want the meat, not the fat. You know what you're trying to say. So it's like you have to just be, on point directly with the message is. And we're trying.
I'm gonna give you guys a big secret, but you're absolutely right. You want to focus on how your product, right, how your services can help them reach their goals. Focus on what you're doing can help them reach where they want to get to.
Getting their house back together, getting their car back together.
How can what you're doing help them get to the desired outcome? You want to minimize features and maximize benefits. What do you think that means?
Basically, state how you can be an asset to them and not a liability, I guess.
So think about what is a feature? Like features, all the extra stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a rat's tail about the extra stuff.
I want to
Tell
know
me what
about
I'm
you.
getting. Tell me what the end result's gonna be. So every time they try to sell me up, I'm like, dude, I'm good. How is this gonna get me there? That's all I care about.
I feel like it's less talking and more just doing more
What'd you say?
production. Less talking, just
Absolutely.
actually doing it, and then that'll attract a pilot. They're like, oh, what you about? Okay, I could use you.
Who, me?
No, that's how pilots act.
Oh,
they see your
I got you.
assets.
You want to,
production.
when you ask them questions, you want to make sure they're specific and targeted questions and very direct, straight to the point. They don't waste their time. Because one thing pilot feels as if they don't have a lot of time. And that's why everything is fast-paced for them. So if you ever think about the student that when they got a project in school, got it done in about 2 weeks, when it was done in about 6, it's not because, it's because they have a fear of time. There's a fear of time. All right, y'all. Homework is 30 days. Study your assessment. If you haven't taken it, get with Travis. He'll help you take that. And second, the OAR, observe, assess, and recognize. Study people around you to then become better at assessing people's superpower and identifying who they are. So then you can better close them. There's a whole nother thing I do with sales when it comes to the assessment. That's down the road somewhere. But you guys have to first master yourselves, and then we can begin to master others. Any questions, comments, concerns?
No, thank you. You taught me a lot today.
Feedback? We got Trav.
I don't know, I'm excited, man. That was good, man. I always love hearing you speak, man. It's always good times for me, man. You make me smile, man. For sure. Brag to the group tomorrow in the morning and say, yeah, man, it came in and killed it. Telling everybody.
I appreciate it. So for everybody, I want everybody to report next Sunday. So for the next 4 Sundays, I want to hear how you improve on self-awareness. You ain't gotta tell me personally. You can tell Travis, he'll tell me. You can tell Toby, she'll tell me. I need to hear that. How are you improving when it comes to self-awareness?
Because they'll keep you deployed, keep you making money. They'll keep you deployed. I promise you it will. Keep you making money. Whatever your goal is financially.
The more aware that you are, not just awareness, but remember, it's self-awareness and self-regulations to get together. The more aware and regulated you are, the easier it is to accomplish your goals. Oh, no, the third thing I want you guys to do is craft your vision. Craft your vision. If you haven't done so, craft that vision for the year and then break it down to 90 days. And once you break it down to the quarter, I want you to break it down to weekly. And once you break it down to weekly, I want you to break it down daily. So if you want to make $100,000, 100K, and you need to close X amount of deals, how many people do you need to talk to? What's your closing rate? What's the ratio? So know all your numbers in order to get there. That's what I want to happen by Travis, by when?
We'll give about a month, because by end of January, we'll start getting deployed and folks start getting to the money.
By the end of January, all that should be
getting completed. To the money.
All right, y'all. That's my time.
Whoop, 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 whoop. Hey, good job, brother. I do definitely appreciate that for sure. I do for sure.
Thank
Look
you.
forward
Thank
to.
you very much.
You got it, Janae. For sure.
No, I was just saying thank you. I appreciate you coming in and explaining briefly what the flight assessment is, especially for those that haven't taken it yet. Because I remember when I first heard about it, it had me going already. So then once Travis gave me the assessment, it was like, okay, I get it. I'm starting to understand it a bit better. So thank you for sharing that with our audience.
Absolutely,
Definitely.
man. Yeah, this is exciting. We look forward to introducing it and having everyone to be a part of it and really understanding it, so that we can go ahead and grow together. But I'm going to let you guys get out of here for sure. But make sure we fill out the feedback form. That is a big deal for us to make sure we put trainings together, and also to make sure that we put the opportunity as far as to serve you better, right? So I'll make sure that we actually challenge you guys to actually the 100K club. We can make 100K in a month. We want to make sure that we put you guys together, put that together as far as in your mind, put it together early, then put a plan together for emotionally and self-awareness wise to get that done, right? We also welcome you guys next week, week 28, the 28th time we came together. Look at Demetrio smiling. He just smiling all big, looking good. So we're welcome you guys next week. We're going to have our very own Miss Janae talk about that. As far as her experience as a grounds crew,
yes, sir.
She was able to mop up over 200 grand in her first year of adjusting by just following and moving at her pace, which is exciting. She was very coachable, right? But I want to thank you guys, Randall. Thank you for showing up. That's my college partner right there, man. So it's exciting. Cliff, thank you. Sophia, Sterling, Wedzére, Toby, Steven, Miss BJ, Javon, thank you guys. We appreciate you so much, and we will see you.
Thank you, everyone.
Next week.
Yes, follow us on socials. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Happy Sunday, everybody.
Y'all have a great week.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Have a good week as well.
Appreciate this for the Clifton. That was
good.
Trav. Yes, sir.
When you get a chance, man, give me a call. I need to ask you a question about my license.
Okay, for sure. For sure, we'll do. For sure.
All right, appreciate it.
For sure. Got you. Brother Elijah.
Happy New Year, everybody. God bless y'all. Y'all have a great one.
All right, y'all.
Travis,
Ricky Banks. Ricky B.
Travis, can you get us that link to the flight assessment, please?
We can hit you up for sure.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Peace.
Bye.